Salam alaikum, my brothers and sisters. What if I told you that the discovery of blood circulation, one of medicine's greatest breakthroughs, wasn't made by William Harvey in 1628, but by a Syrian doctor 300 years earlier? Meet Ibn al-Nafis, the brilliant physician whose revolutionary discovery was lost to history for centuries. Welcome back to our channel. I'm your host, and today we're diving into the extraordinary story of Ala al-Din Abu al-Hasan Ali ibn Abi Hazm al-Qarshi al-Dimashqi, better known as Ibn al-Nafis. This 13th century Islamic scholar didn't just challenge medical orthodoxy, he completely revolutionized our understanding of how the human heart works. To understand Ibn al-Nafis's accomplishments, we must first understand the remarkable era in which he lived. The 13th century marked the peak of the Islamic Golden Age, when Islamic civilization was the world's beacon of learning and innovation. Damascus, where Ibn al-Nafis was born around 1213 CE, was an intellectual melting pot where Greek, Persian, and Indian medical traditions merged with Islamic scholarship. The medical institutions of this era were revolutionary. Unlike medieval Europe, where medicine was dominated by superstition, the Islamic world had developed a sophisticated medical system based on empirical observation and controlled experimentation. Hospitals weren't just places of treatment, they were teaching institutions where knowledge was systematically expanded. From an early age, Ibn al-Nafis showed exceptional intellectual curiosity. His medical education began with studying ancient masters like Galen and Hippocrates, but unlike his contemporaries, Ibn al-Nafis wasn't content to simply accept what he read. This critical approach was unusual for the time. Medieval medical tradition was largely based on authority, but Ibn al-Nafis embodied the Islamic Golden Age spirit, an unwavering faith in reason and observation to uncover truth. His teachers noticed his unique approach. Rather than blindly memorizing ancient texts, Ibn al-Nafis questioned them and compared them with his own observations. He demanded evidence for every assertion and refused to accept explanations that didn't match what he observed. After completing his studies, Ibn al-Nafis moved to Cairo, Egypt. Cairo in the 13th century was the intellectual heart of the Islamic world, attracting scholars from across the known world. The city offered unparalleled opportunities for an ambitious physician. Cairo's libraries contained the world's largest collection of medical texts, and its hospitals, particularly the prestigious al-Nasiri hospital where Ibn al-Nafis became chief physician, were marvels of medical innovation. The al-Nasiri hospital wasn't just a treatment center. It was a research and education hub with specialized wards, a sophisticated pharmacy, and a case documentation system that allowed physicians like Ibn al-Nafis to study thousands of patients and identify patterns previous generations couldn't observe. Ibn al-Nafis wasn't just a practicing physician, he was a polymathic intellectual whose curiosity extended far beyond medicine. During his career, he authored over 110 works covering medicine, theology, philosophy, and literature. His theological contributions were remarkable, writing detailed commentaries on the Quran and Islamic jurisprudence. Perhaps most surprisingly, Ibn al-Nafis was a pioneering novelist. His novel, Theologus Autodidactus, explored themes of innate knowledge and self-discovery, centuries before such works became popular in Europe. What made Ibn al-Nafis truly exceptional was his method. While predecessors relied heavily on ancient texts and animal dissection, Ibn al-Nafis combined textual analysis with careful clinical observation. He developed what we might call a proto-scientific approach, formulating hypotheses based on observations, testing them against evidence, and revising conclusions when necessary. This methodology was revolutionary. Most medieval physicians treated ancient texts as unquestionable truths. Ibn al-Nafis treated them as starting points for further inquiry, understanding that knowledge progressed through questioning and testing, not blind acceptance of authority. For over 1,000 years, the medical world had accepted Galen's theory that blood moved through invisible pores in the heart's septum. This seemed logical. Blood had to get from the right side of the heart to the left somehow. But Ibn al-Nafis wasn't convinced. Through careful observation and logical reasoning, he realized something revolutionary. In his commentary on anatomy in Avicenna's canon, he wrote these historic words: "The blood from the right chamber of the heart must arrive at the left chamber, but there is no direct pathway between them. The thick septum of the heart is not perforated and does not have visible pores as some people thought. So how did blood get from right to left? Ibn al-Nafis proposed an incredible solution. The blood from the right chamber must flow through the vena arteriosa to the lungs, spread through its substances, be mingled there with air, then pass through the arteria venosa to reach the left chamber of the heart. This was the first accurate description of pulmonary circulation, the process by which blood travels from the heart to the lungs to pick up oxygen, then returns to the heart. Ibn al-Nafis had discovered that the lungs weren't just for breathing. They were essential for blood circulation and the body's oxygen supply. Ibn al-Nafis's discovery was revolutionary for several reasons. First, it overturned 1,000 years of accepted medical doctrine. Galen's theories had been considered unquestionable truth, yet Ibn al-Nafis proved them wrong through observation and reasoning. Second, his discovery explained how the body actually worked, opening doors to more effective treatments. Third, his method was centuries ahead of its time, using evidence-based reasoning while European medicine still relied on ancient texts. So why don't most people know about Ibn al-Nafis? Unfortunately, his work remained largely confined to the Islamic world. During the medieval period, there was limited translation of Arabic medical texts into Latin, and Ibn al-Nafis's discovery wasn't widely disseminated in Europe. The reasons were complex. The Crusades and political tensions between the Islamic world and Christian Europe created barriers to intellectual exchange. The fall of Baghdad to the Mongols in 1258, and the subsequent decline of the Islamic Golden Age meant fewer new discoveries reached Europe. There were also linguistic factors. Ibn al-Nafis's works were written in Arabic, and few European scholars could read technical medical Arabic. When William Harvey published his work on circulation in 1628, he was unaware of Ibn al-Nafis's earlier discovery. Harvey rediscovered pulmonary circulation independently, and his work became famous throughout Europe. While Harvey went further in some respects, describing complete systemic circulation, Ibn al-Nafis had laid the crucial foundations. It wasn't until 1924 that an Egyptian physician named Muhyo al-Din al-Tawi discovered Ibn al-Nafis's original manuscript and revealed the truth to the world. This discovery revolutionized medical history, forcing scholars to reevaluate medieval Islamic science's role in modern medicine's development. But circulation wasn't Ibn al-Nafis's only contribution. He made important discoveries about coronary circulation, corrected numerous errors in Avicenna's medical textbook, and wrote extensively about eye diseases, describing conditions that wouldn't be fully understood in Europe for centuries. He also contributed to fields beyond medicine, writing theological works and philosophical treatises. Today, Ibn al-Nafis is finally receiving deserved recognition. Medical schools worldwide now acknowledge his priority in discovering pulmonary circulation. The Ibn Nafis University in Syria bears his name. His story reminds us that scientific discovery knows no boundaries of geography, religion, or culture. Ibn al-Nafis represents the best of Islamic Golden Age scholarship: rigorous methodology, fearless questioning of authority, and dedication to advancing human knowledge. His work laid foundations that European physicians would build upon centuries later. Ibn al-Nafis's story teaches us that truth doesn't always come from expected places or recognized authorities. Sometimes the most important discoveries come from individuals willing to question what everyone accepts as fact. In an age when Galen's word was law, Ibn al-Nafis dared to look with his own eyes and think with his own mind. His legacy reminds us that knowledge pursuit is a human endeavor transcending all boundaries. Whether in 13th century Damascus or 21st century laboratories, the spirit of inquiry that drove Ibn al-Nafis continues pushing the boundaries of what we know about ourselves and our world. In our age of divisions, Ibn al-Nafis's story reminds us that science and knowledge belong to all humanity. What do you think about Ibn al-Nafis's incredible story? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed learning about this forgotten pioneer of medicine, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more fascinating stories from the history of science. Until next time, keep questioning, keep learning, and keep discovering.